told y'all. Bad Mike told you time and time again.
Yo. What's going on, people? Your boy, man, Mike, coming at you guys with yet another video. All right, so decided to go live after pretty good, a pretty good training camp. So quite a few people out there. Shout out to Scott Karasik, Big Low. We had Chris, A1 Sports out there, A1 Forever. Who else was out there? T Will. So many other people. Yuri, saw Yuri out there. Mario, all those guys, all the Falcon content creators, all the Falcons fans out there had a pretty good time. Quite a few of you guys out there that watched the show. We greatly appreciate it. But it's hot as hell. Oh boy, what was it hot? It was a damn good day. But like I said, man, we definitely had fun. And thank everybody for whoever was able to come out, not only to the training camp. We wasn't able, had some prior engagement, so wasn't able, not all of us was able to hit the AFN red and black event. We apologize for that, but like I said, we're gonna definitely do quite a few things. Quite a few things to kind of get during the season. To get back at you. Like I said, T Hall. We had a couple of people that shall go unnamed right now that joined us out there. Smooth C, what's going on? JD is. D Coleman, crazy ass William, what's going on? Bucks, what's going on? But I want to talk about something because I told you there's something that I've been just been hearing. This Falcon defense is doing exactly what I wanted. I don't know if y'all have been. This defense is definitely getting off to a good start with me. They're getting off to a good start with me. And I'm going to be real about it. Yep, y'all see it. Mm-hmm. You see it right there. Walker and Pearce Jr. Okay, so I told you guys what I want from this Atlanta Falcons defense is enough. And I mean enough. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a few of the things that I've had the privilege to see a little bit of. Like one thing that just jumped out to me was the coverage in itself was extremely tight. The defense was getting after it, man. Those are the first thing that stood out to me. I will say this about I'm gonna be honest about Kurt from what I've seen. Kurt is just going through the motions. Kirk Cousins, he's going through the motions, and I don't think it's one of those things where he's getting through injuries. Like I could be wrong with that, but for how I saw Kirk Cousins, he's a veteran guy that is not. He knows that this is the time to just get into a rhythm, get his body right, his arms, legs, get his cardio in. Like for what I saw, Kirk was, very um cautious to just get, like I said, wasn't trying to do too much. Like you got players out there, they trying to make their mark, and I understand why. But Kirk Cousins at this point, just watching him, I thought he was, just trying to get into a rhythm, and you know that arm, I want to say is dead, but you can tell that he's getting older. The movement in the pocket, not a whole lot of movement in that pocket with Kirk Cousins. Michael Penix is just, Lord, he let that thing fly. Um, I will say, people will probably say, looking at Michael Penix, oh, he's going to struggle with accuracy. Like, I don't necessarily think so. I think it's one with him. Just get on the, get a little bit of experience on his belt a little bit. I didn't think he was going. I did see how Penix would just look. This dude just let it rip, man. He give his wide receivers opportunity to make plays, and then you know, um, Drake London doing Drake London things. A lot of people, oh, Drake is struggling in training camp. Look, these guys ain't struggling. They're just trying to get through training camp without a whole bunch of injuries and mess. But those guys are a defense, like I said, seeing from what I've seen. I'm at training camp. That defense is, whew, this defense is definitely the talk of the town. Those guys, secondary, they getting after it. So going to get to this. All right, so this is Maria Martin. He said the first scuffle at training camp looks like it started with James Pearce Jr., Ryan Nuzul. That's interesting in itself. Matthew Bergeron and Leonard Floyd got in there too. Bergeron helmet was ripped off, and he chirped for a while after he was heated. All right. We got another one. Now, Caleb McGarry and James Pearce Jr. are scrapping. This one is turned into a bigger brawl. Jeff Ulbrich stated that he likes the intensity, but today at times it went a little too far, and we have to learn how to manage that. Jeff Ulbrich is that what we're doing on defense is going to be much different than last year. He also says playing with the defense does not exist without intensity. It's controlled anger. It's controlled chaos. It's controlled aggression. So I'm gonna be honest, man. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, but good God Almighty, um, and I'm going to say what I saw. Now, a lot of people may differ from what I'm saying. I just saw, to be honest, I just saw Raheem being more of a cheerleader than he was actually in complete control over that defense. I'm just telling y'all what I saw. Yep, he was. Yeah, Raheem was out. He was doing his things, but from what I saw, man, this defense is completely in control in the hands of Jeff Ulbrich. This dude was all over the field. He's teaching everybody. He's talking to the DBs, he's talking to the linebackers, he's talking to the defensive line. Like, this dude is everywhere. Now, there are other guys out there in the coaching ranks that are doing their thing, but from what I've seen from Raheem, he's allowing his defensive guys and mainly Jeff Ulbrich to take complete control over this defense. And good God Almighty, have they done so. Go in these comments real quick. He said defense has a different attitude and mentality. It's our Billy Bowman out there in first team reps. Like, Billy Bowman is taking, man, look, man, that dude looking scrumptious, okay? I'm just going to be real. That dude looks so goddamn good on that field. Yo, Billy Bowman looked good, but that's not no surprise because everywhere this good guy goes, he seems to make plays, and he just plays with a confidence that that you can only admire, and it's only going to get better. Um, okay, hey man, like I said, man, y'all, like I said, you guys, out there, let us know, man. Let us know we out there. I know, like I said, we had the whole crew for the most part that was out, showed some love, and that's a lot of people there. So we didn't get a chance to holler at you, you know. It's a defense nasty and temp. Uh, um, uh, Jay says he's not believing. You got to show me. I mean, like I said, I'm just telling you what I saw, and you know I'm on board with you. You still got to show me, but I'm telling you what I saw on the field. I saw Jeff Ulbrich pretty much running the defense, making the calls, looking at everything, focused on everything defensively. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that I like right now. I like the fact. I love the fact. Uh, what's going on, brother? Glad to hear this. Our defense has to be and needs to be disrespectful to other teams' offenses, especially in NFC South. Yeah, like I said, man, I'm gonna be real about it. I love the fact that we got our edge guys that are getting into fights. Like, I'm tired of this pussy punk ass defense. Okay? Just gonna be real about it. All of this, oh, we gotta be nice and we gotta be professional. No, we gotta kick ass. I love the fact that Bergeron is getting to a fight and he's chirping off at people. If you got a fucking problem with Bergeron getting after it, fighting, chirping, like, you can get the hell away from me. I don't want that punk ass defense. I need some motherfucker that's not afraid to spit in his own teammate's face. And I mean every word that I said. I want disrespectful. I want disgusting. Okay? I want him to bite the motherfucker toe off if he have to. We got to establish dominance. We got to establish fear on that defensive side of the ball, that we're going to get after it. And if we have to get out, and I understand how Jeff Ulbrich is saying, you don't want to go over the line. It's your teammates. You don't want to hurt these guys. But like, at the end of the day, the fact that we got Bergeron, we got Leonard Floyd, we got Pearce. Pearce done got in a couple of scuffles already. Boy, if that don't excite you as a Falcon fan, I don't know what will. I want Bill Romanowski on this defense. Okay? Spit in your face, slap your mama, your grandmama, your baby. Look, I want disrespectful. And if you can't understand that, I got 2 words for you. F off. It's defense. Okay? Mr. Tactician was there, and that's something that we saw. We saw with our own 2 eyes. Jeff Ulbrich was in their face. And like I said, I love the fact to see that Raheem Morris is allowing his defensive guy to do it. He's allowing his defensive coaches to coach. Now, at this point, what Jay was talking about, I just need to see it. But from what I've seen, it makes me feel a lot better about Raheem. This ain't about, hating Raheem and all. We need to see it. From what I saw out of this whole situation, is Raheem is allowing Jeff to do his thing. He played under Robert Salah. Okay? So he's seen what good coaching is. He understands that you got to play with a certain level of intensity. The offense got to be scared, bro. Like, at the end of the day, look, if the offense doesn't understand that we're going to get into a fight and it's going to be a long day for you, even if I'm getting my ass kicked, we going to fight. Even if I am getting my ass kicked, guess what? We still going to fight. And I'm still going to keep coming after you and coming after until I get the win. You can beat my ass 15 times in a row, but I'm going to keep coming after you until the game is over. We need to establish that with this defense and what I've seen so far. And these guys at Bergeron and Floyd, Pearce done got into two fights. Ryan Nuzul done got into it. Like, bro, I don't know how you don't like that. I don't know how you don't like that as a Falcon. If you're not a Falcon fan and you don't like the fact that our defense and our offensive, we got the fucking trenches fighting, y'all. People in the fucking trenches are fighting. When was the last time we heard that? Yes, they was getting turnovers, fumble, like bro. I'm telling y'all, the defense was lively. The defense was lively, and I'm telling you right now, that Billy Bowman, Beeman, Bama, Bama, Boomer, yeah, that dude was all over the field. We got quite a few people. Diablo that dude is a hell of an athlete. Yeah, Diablo is a hell of an athlete, y'all. And like I said, these guys not even in pass yet. No, the Falcons, they not really, the quarterbacks ain't really pushing it like that. Like I said, I'm not worried about turnovers and stuff like that. Carl, I'm not worried too much about the turnovers. What I like to see early in camp like this, because for the most part, you're not trying to push it, too far. I will say this, man. Man, Kyle Pitts looking real good, y'all. Let me say this again. Kyle Pitts is looking good. Kyle Pitts looking good, y'all. Kyle Pitts is looking really good, and just seeing the ball come out so easily and effortlessly. Like, Michael Penix can really do some things with it. Yeah, he's like I said, CJ, brother. If you saw it, you look. If you were there and you saw Penix, woo, y'all, get happy. Okay, get happy. Like I said, Penix, Pitts. We hearing some goofy shit. Oh, Drake is not having a good time. He's not having a good training camp. Like, look, don't get caught up in that nonsense. Like I said, if you weren't there, don't get too caught up in what these analysts and all these type of people, because it's just my opinion from what I've seen. A lot of people, what they wrote and what I've seen, that's a lot of discrepancy. Like, a lot of people, I'm gonna say it like this: a lot of these journalists out here, they take their job way too seriously. You got to understand that training camp is not the way it used to be. These guys trying to get through it without getting hurt. So a lot of these guys are not trying to do crazy things, dives and punching and all that type of stuff. Because like I said, it's way. Say Penix and Pitts are introverts, so I know Penix really knew how to speak to Pitts in the off season. I know because I'm one. Hey, yeah, believe it or not, I'm more of an introvert than I am. Now, when I'm out, I do have fun. I am lively and I am animated. But me personally, I am an introverted person. All right, so I understand Pitts. That's why I'm looking at everybody looking at Pitts and say, "Oh, he doesn't have to look." Believe it or not, when I'm in my space, I understand it. Dude don't like to be bothered. He don't like to be the center of attention like that. I get it. But like Drake, like I said, I didn't see it. Drake missed a handful of passes, like a handful of kisses. Like, come on, bro. Like, and we got all these guys like, oh, man, Drake struggled in training camp. Look, he dropped a few passes, okay? Boo-hoo. It's not that big of a deal. I like to see guys, their effort, getting out there, running, they're around the ball, like they lively, energetic. Like, that's what I'm focused on with players. I'm not worried about a lot of these receivers dropping passes. Dre, what's going on, brother? They're literally telling the defense to do certain things so they can work through their weaknesses. A lot of bang bang plays. They are scheming that up, and that's what I'm saying. It's one of those situations where until they're playing the opposing teams, and be honest, I expect more fights when they have these joint practices. I'm just gonna be honest. I expect more fights because if these guys are already, if James Pierce Jr. is already fighting and getting into it, Bergeron, um, you got Ryan Newsom, like these guys are already getting that. They already get into a fight. So it pisses what they do, what they're gonna do against the opposing team. Like these guys just wired differently. You know what I'm saying? Just my own personal preference. They got Caden Ellis still in coverage a little bit too much for me, but it is what it is. Caden is a terrific linebacker, but like I said, I think Diablo with his athleticism, man, he's going to bring another element to this Falcons defense. They're going to be able to put him in certain situations where he's going to be able to utilize his athleticism. I think that's a good thing. And there was a stat out there with Caden Ellis that he's one of the best, most effective blitzers off of. So, there's going to be instances where you have Caden in coverage, but they're going to utilize his ability not only blitz, but get after the quarterback. I'm hearing mixed. I'm hearing mixed. I had a lot of people having conversations with me, so I didn't see a lot of the special teams. I do know a lot of those guys, Agnew and a few other guys. I do know that some people said that Koo was missing early his field goals and he was a little off. But like I said, this is kickers. Kickers are very temperamental, so I wouldn't get too caught up in whether or not Koo struggled in camp. If he's missing kicks in the preseason, then we got something to worry about. But him missing in training camp is not that big of a deal to me personally. You can take it seriously, but again, if you know kickers, they're very temperamental to begin with. He said I was at practice, look phenomenal. Defense showed a lot of pressure, but they are not in pass, so we gotta wait for it. Like I said, so my thing is with that, I just look at how these guys I just look at how these guys are moving. That's one their the quickness. I look how they quickness, how quickly they pick up their assignment, how quickly they get off the snap. Like those are the things. How quickly they read things. Like those are the things that I'm looking at when I look at a lot of these players. So far, like I said, the defense. But this is the offense. Offense is more so about chemistry and timing. So the defense in a lot of situations early in camp, they're gonna have the upper edge on these guys until the offense get cooking. And plus, like I said, these are restricted training camp, so a lot of players don't necessarily get hurt, and that comes from the league in itself. They don't want a lot of these guys doing too much, so they have a strict regimen on how they want things to go. And like I said, I like what I've seen so far. I already knew there would be fights at joint practice. Raheem Morris and Fontenot do not have a problem with aggressive people. And again, this is what they want. This is what they want. They wanted the entire time. If you checked out the press conference with Jeff Ulbrich, Ulbrich was saying himself. He wants to be aggressive. He wants to be violent. Woo, y'all. Violent defense. And I'm not the one that's gonna point the finger at Raheem or Jimmy Lake, but damn, Jeff Ulbrich, he's speaking my language now, bro. I know he's a linebacker and he was a pretty good linebacker himself, but damn, this linebackers want to be tough and they want to be violent. Having a linebacker, y'all, that is speaking about violence, y'all don't know how they make me feel. Boy, y'all trying to make Mike feel good? Make me feel good by saying that. If you want man Mike to feel good, this is how you do it. Say, let's get violent. Let's start fights. Woo! That's what I want. I want my defense not afraid to elbow somebody in like Mike Tyson do in a boxing match. Like I need look, bite a motherfucking ear off, okay? Mike Tyson style. Hit him in the damn nuts, okay? Run around the damn ring and punch the motherfucker in the balls like Floyd Mayweather be doing. Like, look, I need all that. Like I said, I need you to spit in the motherfucker's face. I need you to low blow him. Look, whatever you need to do to cause the violence, I need that on my defense. I need my defense that look, if we gonna go to jail, we gonna go to jail going all out. If we gonna kick some ass, I need them to kick some ass by going all out. I need that for my defense. Look, I'm telling y'all right now. Let's listen to this. Okay? That wasn't a shot solely at Jimmy Lake. See, y'all got to get out y'all feelings about that. That was not a shot. He said this defense is not going to be last year's defense. It was two people that was in charge of that defense. That was Raheem and that was Jimmy Lake. This is a shot at Raheem also. Okay? This is Raheem's team and it was his defense. Why would he come out and say this defense? He didn't look. That was no hella shot. That's how people are just trying to perceive it because they don't like Jimmy Lake. That was a shot at Raheem too. He said the same thing in the press conference about Raheem. Raheem, we're going to do things. I want to do things a certain way. And if I got to go at Raheem, I'm going to get Jeff Ulbrich. This is the person that he is. That was a shot at Raheem. Go back and look at the press conference where he said, well, look, I'm not here to be friends. I'm here to sit up here and build a defense and do a job. That's not solely a shot at Jimmy Lake. That's a shot at Raheem too. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to build a defense. We're going to do it the right way. That's a shot at everybody. Look, see, this is stuff we talking about. This is why I get so pissed off with people. And you gonna sit up here and tell me after I've said, okay, let me listen, David. I want you to listen. We all was there. We saw. Let me say this again. We saw Raheem Morris and Jimmy Lake. And you telling me that it was just solely all Jimmy Lake last year? And then this year, Raheem Morris says, let's hire Jeff Ulbrich. And now Jeff Ulbrich is taking over every aspect of this defense. Y'all really believe they were just all a guy that's a first-time defensive coordinator. Y'all really think that was just all Jimmy Lake defense last year. It's not being honest. He don't got a choice because Jeff Ulbrich was with a guy like Robert Salah. Jeff Ulbrich was he was a defensive coordinator with us when Raheem took over as the head coach. Y'all forget about that part though, didn't you? So this guy's an experienced guy. He ain't got no choice but to get the hell up out of his way. Get out of Jeff Ulbrich's way and let him do it. Because he's an experienced defensive coordinator at this point. So if you guys believe that defense was all Jim Ulbrich, Jimmy Lake, then that's on you. But I'm telling you right now, that wasn't all Jimmy Lake. He's the fall guy. But this is what, like I said, but that's why I give Raheem his credit. It's like, let's not try to pretend that he didn't hand that defense over, quote unquote, hand that defense over this to a rookie, because there were some ups and there were downs that year. The Falcons had a stretch where they had like 15, 20 sacks in like a 5-game period. Okay? This was Jimmy Lake at the helm. If you look, I'm gonna tell you, this is where I got a problem with a lot of this Raheem stuff. Like, motherfuckers like to say when things going good, it's Raheem. Oh, he's going, the Falcons are playing good now. It was all Raheem. And then when they're going bad, we want to point the finger and say, yeah, he only took over because Jimmy Lake didn't know what he's doing. Well, we didn't say that in the first, 9 games or so. And I'm not paying attention to this little tanky poo dude in here talking about this is all Jimmy Lake. You don't know what you're talking about if you think that's all Jimmy Lake. Raheem has always played this same scheme. He played the same scheme when he was in with the Rams. You know what the difference is? We didn't have an Aaron Donald to bail us out. Pass rush makes everything better. This is why the Atlanta Falcons went out and got Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., and Leonard Floyd. Got AK. You getting Braylon Trice, and I hear Braylon Trice is making some noise against guys like Jake Matthews and whatnot. But pass rush makes a difference. Okay? Pass rush makes a difference. But don't sit up here and just say, all right, when everything going good, when everything going good, it's all Raheem. We stopped scoring points, and then everybody want to point the finger at Jimmy Lake. But nobody said Jimmy Lake was bad when we was winning those fucking games. It's only when we started losing, everybody started pointing the finger at Jimmy Lake. Our defense wasn't great when we was winning. But when we quote unquote took over, my thing is, if let's say he did take him, he gave it right back to Jimmy. He said it raised the brow when I heard it, but it makes sense because he hired a strong-minded defensive coordinator. Like, think about this for a second. Y'all don't think it's problematic? You don't think this is an issue when you got your defensive guy? Think about this. I want everybody to think about it. Think about what I'm about to say. Look, I really want y'all to think about what I'm about to say. Why would he, if he was a strong defensive coordinator, if he really believed in Jimmy Lake, if Jimmy Lake wasn't the guy, let's say it from your standpoint, let's say Jimmy Lake is a bum. Let's just say Jimmy Lake is a bum-ass defensive coordinator. Let's just say it. What took him so long to make the change? That's what I want to know. Because we're trying to get to the playoffs. And you're as good as you say you are. You believe in this defense, and you're as good as a defensive coordinator as you say you are, and you say he is, you guys. What took you so long to say, yeah, Jimmy Lake ain't it? We could have been in the playoffs, but our head coach sat up there and let a bum-ass defensive coordinator kept calling these bum-ass calls. Let's just say that. let's just say Jimmy Lake is a bum. Yeah. Let's just say he's a nothing. I'm reading y'all comments. That's what I want to know.
Let's just say he's a
Terry Ware, what's going on, bro? Oh Lord, we got a pussy in here. I mean a fat pussy too. Where is it? What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa. 828 Todd. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. So let's just see. See, here you go. Here, look, I love these comments. Look at it. I love this comment right here. I really, truly do. Look at this. Look at this. You got a chance to win a Super Bowl, to get to a Super Bowl. Hey, just paint. I'm about to paint a perfect picture. Bummer hoochie, what position? My intention to get richer. All right. I'm about to paint a perfect picture for y'all right now. Your desire as a head coach and a team and a player is to get to the playoffs. You're 6-3. And let's say David is. Let me read this. He was giving him a chance. We didn't have the personnel, the Rams, period. We are getting killed in zone because we didn't have a true pass. How does that make any sense? Here we go. Oh, we should be happy that Raheem fixed the problem. Some of y'all were never happy with Raheem. What the fuck did he fix? Kyle, how you doing? How you doing, sir? Haven't felt this good about our defense in a long while. What the hell he fixed? Oh, we got Coutier Walker in here. I think that's how you say his name. Like he'll be talking about, oh, he fixed the defense. Huh? What did he fix? Because I could have sworn we were 31st in sacks. Engine, what's going on, brother? But I'm loving what I'm seeing right now with our team. We're heading the right direction. And this is like I said, this is like it's a lot of it's a lot of nonsense out here when it comes to Raheem. You know what I'm saying? But like what I said before, like it's one thing to just be outright untruthful because it's easy to point the finger at a guy that is not it. Right? And I'm gonna be honest. It's just how I personally feel. Raheem knew he was. Look, Raheem knew he wasn't gonna keep him. Raheem had no intentions of giving him a legitimate shot. He had no intention of giving this guy a shot. He wanted Jeff Ulbrich from the very beginning. If you believe that that man was really giving Jeff a guy that has never built anything, why would he put himself in jeopardy as a head coach to hire a guy that isn't qualified to be a defensive coordinator, according to y'all, that is trash as a defensive coordinator, as you guys say? Why would Raheem hire him and give him a shot? Furthermore, why would Raheem put his job in jeopardy for a guy that sucks? Let's say Jimmy Lake sucks the way you say he is. Why would he put himself in jeopardy? We haven't sacked the quarterback yet. I don't see how Ulbrich gets asked the credit. We like the speed, but Ulbrich wasn't even on hold on. Was it on the room when these guys were drafted? Jesse, what are you talking about? Yes, he was. What the hell are you talking about? You trying to tell me that Jeff Ulbrich, who you say isn't there? What the hell are you talking about, Jesse? You telling me that Jeff Ulbrich wasn't there? What the hell are you talking about? What the fuck he was in fucking Afghanistan? Was he in Israel or something? What the fuck you think he was? He had a whole damn debacle with his son pulling that goofy ass shit, and you telling me that he wasn't in it? Who? I know you ain't talking about Walker and Pearce. Was banging on the door outside when we announced. Man, shut up, okay? This is where y'all get called. Shoot, you gonna tell me to calm down? Or you say some dumbass shit like this? The hell are you talking about? What the fuck was he? He was literally in the damn room. What do you fuck? Where you thought he was? Banging on the door outside. Why wouldn't the defensive coordinator be in the room when we drafting guys? Some of y'all say the goofiest shit, and you swear you be right. And then when I call you dumb and say that, when I call you point dumb, you want to say, relax, bro. That's not what I meant. That's what you said. Talking about Jeff Ulbrich wasn't in when we drafted the guy. What the hell are you talking about? The fuck kind of sense that make? We literally saw the guy in a damn suit in the damn draft room. No, he really wasn't there. The fuck are we talking about? A defensive coordinator is not in on the pick. Man, y'all got to shut up. Y'all got to stop, bro. Y'all have to stop. Oh, he wasn't in the room when we drafted. Do you think that he has no idea what the Falcons are doing? That's what the fuck you saying right now? That the defensive coordinator is not going to be in on anything when it comes down to Billy Bowman. Y'all would take a month. He probably went on a piss break. He was probably sitting in the damn corner. The hell? Oh, he wasn't in the room when the camera was on. Who fucking cares? They locked in that room for 16 hours, and y'all say, "Oh, Jeff Ulbrich wasn't in there. He wasn't in on it. He's not really the defensive coordinator of the team." Boy, I swear to God. Eli Grant, how are you guys doing? Now all of a sudden, Jeff Ulbrich ain't the guy. Jesse, who's the guy then? Who's the guy that really take up calling all the shots? Since I don't know what I'm talking about, tell me who doing it. No, I didn't call you dumb. See, here they go with this sensitive ass shit again. Y'all say dumb stuff, and then we say your point is stupid, and then we say, no, you called me dumb. No, I said your point. Okay? Oh, no, who cares? You call me dumb. Now we about to get a whole another 15-minute rage. Oh, Mike, you shouldn't have called me stupid. How dare you call me stupid? You said a defensive coordinator that's going to be running the defense wasn't in the room when we drafted Billy Ullman. Bro, he literally said how he has a vision for all of the DBs. Y'all got to watch everything, okay? You got to watch everything. No, you were implying. See, all this slick stuff y'all be trying to say with words and stuff. Like look at this, y'all. Look at this. The fact that he was not in the room being theatrical. Let me tell y'all. Y'all tell me what you think he was saying here. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna read what you guys say. What do you think that Jesse was saying when he said Jeff Ulbrich? What do you think he was implying? Okay, since I'm dead wrong, Mike is completely 100% wrong. You guys, when Jesse said that Jeff Ulbrich wasn't in on Billy Bowman, what do you think he was implying on it? I want to know. Okay, if you didn't imply it, then what did you say? I was wrong. What did you say? Harvey says, doesn't know what he's talking about. I ain't gonna say all that. I love Jesse, but he being goofy right now. He know I love him, but Jesse being goofy right now. He got caught in his own nonsense. Jesse just got to figure out what he just realized what he said. He wasn't in the room when they drafted, but he told them he liked Billy. I mean, he had a whole press conference talking about all the draft picks. What does him being in the room and out of the room mean? What does that even mean? He literally had the same day, the same draft. Well, he had all this goofy stuff with his son. Right? They had to figure all that nonsense out. Oh my God, Jesse, boy, Jesse? Lord have mercy, y'all. This man up here, I'm factually correct. No, you were implying. Why would you say you're factually? He wasn't in on it. Why would you say he wasn't in when we drafted Billy Bowman? Why would you say that? You're factually correct. Why would you imply or say that he wasn't in on it? I ain't got to take the blame, blah, blah, blah. I like the draft pick too. I'll take the blame, neither Ulbrich. It will be Lord have mercy. Like now Jesse he's trying to get around it because he know he was implying that Jeff Ulbrich isn't as big of an influence of this defense than I am implying. Because I am implying that Jeff Ulbrich, because what I've seen at training camp, that he's a much bigger influence of this defense than Jesse, is willing to admit. He's implying, in my opinion, that Raheem is the guy, that Terry Fontenot is the guy that is going to be running the defense. This is what he's implying because he's not willing and he's not ready to put all his best eggs in one basket in regards to Jeff Ulbrich, which I don't blame because that's something that I say myself. But I'm speaking on what I saw, what we've seen at training camp with my own two eyes. I saw Raheem standing off and letting Jeff Ulbrich run everything. Okay? So I'm speaking on what we've seen at training camp. So you can sit up here and just, oh, he wasn't in the draft. Like, what the hell that matter? What is him not being in the draft room? Like, what does that have to do with anything? We're talking about Jeff Ulbrich. That's why. If you center it around that, so now you don't want to be in the center of attention. Y'all just don't want y'all points critiqued. Okay, that ain't got nothing to dedicate. You're dedicating the whole life to me. No, I'm dedicating. I'm dedicating getting it right since I was wrong, and now you don't want to talk about it because you're getting critiqued. Nobody likes getting critiqued, but you like to critique Raheem. You like to critique Ulbrich and everybody else. But when I critique you, y'all don't know how to take it. All right. Yeah, I'm just stating the fact that he wasn't in the room. Okay, he wasn't in the room. All right. I know what he's insinuating. I love Jesse, but he full of shit right now. He full of shit right now. He know he full of shit. But like I said, from what I've seen at training camp, like I said before, this defense is being molded and Jeff Ulbrich and Raheem's vision. And what Raheem is doing is allowing, let me say it again, he's allowing Jeff Ulbrich to run the defense. That's what you do. You give your coordinators the opportunity to mold the defense. If they're going to be calling the plays, you got to give these guys an opportunity to, especially if they have the experience. But if you got a guy like Jimmy Lake that doesn't have the experience, you got to babysit him. I thought you weren't implying anything. Tell me who's going to get fired of the players who don't work out. You've been up Raheem's colon for months. Well, you already, if you understand what I said, I never said that Raheem was going to get fired. Have anybody ever seen Mike or heard Mike say that Raheem is going to get fired? No, Jeff Ulbrich and Raheem is the subject at hand. You don't like your comments being highlighted. Jeff Ulbrich, I'm on the same subject. Now, if anybody got questions, I will field questions, but Jeff Ulbrich and Raheem is the center. Who's going to get the blame? Because if we're going to be honest, so if Raheem is the head coach and Jimmy Lake was the defensive coordinator, we're going to play this game. I'm going to play your game. I don't see one idiot in here that said Matt Mike said fire Raheem. I think we've all said fuck Raheem, but yeah, nobody said fire Raheem. I don't think no one in it an AFN connected to have said fire Raheem. Now we've all said he shouldn't have never been hired, but I've never said he needed to fire. But if that was the case, where what's going on, Sharmala? If that was the case, what we talk about was Jesse, and Jesse said that who's going to get all the blame. I mean, it should have been Raheem last year. If we playing that game, if Raheem is the guy that's going to get all the focus this year, if things go wrong, then why didn't we keep that same energy this previous year and this off season? I don't recall anybody saying fire Raheem. Nobody has said that. I don't recall any Falcon content creator saying fire Raheem, and I listened to them all. I don't recall anybody saying that. I don't recall. Like I said, I listen to everybody. I watch everybody. I don't recall anybody. We've all said, yeah, he's frustrating me. And if he keeps up this, it's not going to be favorable for him and he could get fired. But I don't recall any content creator ever stating anyway he needs to be fired. But my thing is, if Raheem is going to get the blame this year, why didn't he get that same blame last year? This man Jesse, boy, whoo, Lord have mercy. Boy, he running a marathon around these damn. He don't want to answer nothing, do he? You said that Raheem. You said that Raheem is gonna get all the blame. Now all of a sudden you telling Mike, man, stay focused, Mike. You don't need to talk about my questions no more. Now I need to stay focused. Who's going to get fired if the players don't work out? You've been up Raheem Colin for months. So what were you insinuating? What? Look, somebody give some questions. Cause Jesse obviously don't want to. Jesse don't want to. He want to keep on bringing up stuff that don't make anything. Who's going to get? You said Raheem is going to get all the blame. It's not going to be just. It's not going to be Jeff Over. That throw some questions in there since Jesse he up here. Boy, that man got a pacifier in his mouth, boy. Somebody need to put a pacifier in his mouth. No, I didn't. Rook has definitely been getting into the backfield. Not a lot of Brandon Doyless. I think he's with the second team, but it's not a lot of that. But Rook definitely been you think Khalid Kareem can make nah. Don't if you send a lot of these backups, don't expect a lot of these backups to make. The Falcons got a lot of money to spend in the next few years or so. And with these guaranteed contracts going up, don't get used to seeing a lot of these players, period. Especially a lot of especially a lot of the young defensive guys. We may lose a lot of good young talented defensive guys, including guys like Dorless. But he's making plays. But like I said, the way how deep they are up front with our linebackers, edge, and defensive linemen, don't be surprised these guys are cut. They gone. Tank, you really about to get blocked. You gonna get blocked, and you just gonna have to be on AFN because you keep repeating the same stupid shit over and over again. Keep the same image. I want Raheem to succeed. Okay, so you don't shut the fuck up with this bullshit. I don't think there's a Falcon fan in here that want Raheem to fail. Like that's literally one of the dumbest things that you can say about Falcons fans is saying we don't want our teams to succeed. You're just stupid if you keep saying that stupid shit over and over. Keep the same energy if he succeeds. Why the hell would I be mad because Raheem succeed? The hell are you talking about? Like, does that make any sense, Falcon fans? Like, no, we don't. I don't like Raheem. I want him to fail. I don't want to win a Super Bowl. I want Raheem fired. Yeah, let's lose. Let's be number one pick in the draft again until Raheem is fired. Bro, like some of you people don't even think before y'all say something. But Malone, I did say Malone. He's been working out as a middle linebacker on top of it. Muhammad, what's going on, brother? I see you in there. I want Raheem. Mike, man. No, Mike, you're not going to cheer Raheem winning. Oh, my gosh. Oh, gosh. Mike, you want our Falcons to lose. Come on, bro. Sounds stupid. You keep saying the same dumb stuff over there. And like I said, I'm not, like, if you're going to be dumb and repeat the same stuff, you just going to get blocked. I'm not doing that this year. If we're going to have a conversation and disagree, but you keep repeating the same stupid shit that no Falcon fans want to hear is, yeah, we want our head coach to lose. We want the best for all our head coaches, players, and all that. But we got to stop because we disagree on how he may have his philosophy may be or who fault it is the defensive coordinator, Jimmy Lake or Ulbrich or whoever, because we disagree on those things, that I want Raheem to the Falcons to fail because Raheem is the head coach. Like, that's ignorant. That's pure stupidity. Well, if that's the case, why haven't nobody ran through a wall? They wasn't doing it last year. We were dead last in sacks. They wasn't running through a wall last year. All this woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff. Oh, they love Raheem. They'll run through a wall. Well, why they do it last year? Like, they love Raheem. The Falcons defense will do any and everything. Well, they didn't do it last year. He's living off of a reputation that people have it. A reputation don't mean anything. Like, we saw Joshua Simon, like it was Joshua Simon saying, a lot of people were saying that Raheem, Joshua Simon is the next great tight end that's gonna back up Kyle Pitts, but he was dropping a lot of passes. Like, bro, this right here running through a wall. Hell, they couldn't even run through the offensive lineman last year. Like, look, I don't care nothing about his reputation. I don't care about. Look, I could be the loudest person in the world and say I'm the best Falcon content creator there is. But if I don't have the numbers to back that up, then it's just talk. Man, Mike is just all talk. Truth is, I don't have the most subscribers of being there, but I'm one of the biggest. I'm a self-proclaimed king of freestyling, live shows. Okay? That's a self-proclaimed title. But until you show the numbers, you can't tell Mad Mike that he's not one of the biggest, because I am. So that's the same thing that goes for a guy like Raheem. He can sit up here and say everybody love Raheem. He's the next leader to be the next what's his name is? He can be the next Tony Dungy. But if he's not winning games, none of that matters. It's just a reputation. It's just a reputation at the end of the day. Right now, D. Coleman, Raheem is a proven loser as a head coach, and he come here and lost. It's okay to acknowledge it. That's what he is. He knows he has to succeed. He knows he has to improve as a head coach. But you people are not being honest when you look at him and say he's a loser. We had a losing record last year, again, under Raheem. And a bottom 25 defense. Okay? We're not good. This is a fact. Right here, everybody say he's a player's coach, never a defensive savant or shit like that. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't care nothing about him being look, you know how many people love some like we got I know there is a few YouTubers out there, and these people got maybe 1,000, 2,000 subscribers, but they just don't have the charisma to take their game to a whole nother level and become one of the bigger ones. But I love watching them because I love how informative they are. It's quite a few of them out there for me. Like I said, it's a couple of Miami Dolphin guys out there that I reached out to, and I like their stuff. I know a couple of Ravens guys, Eagles guys. Like I know a couple of guys out there that I think that are very entertaining. But like, as far as I'm concerned, but that's just my opinion. But my opinion, if they don't have the best, if they don't have the most, then that's just my opinion. You got to prove it in this world. They said they're in the fights today. Yes, there were a lot of fights, and that's one that like Ryan Nozel, Caleb McGeary got into a fight. James Pearce Jr., Leonard Floyd, they got into a scuffle. A couple other guys, but like this, like I said, whether it's Raheem, like I'm just telling you what I saw. Jeff Ulbrich is the one that's saying like we're going to be violent, we're going to be this, and Raheem is doing a wonderful job of just allowing his coaches to do their job. That's what you're supposed to do as a head coach. You step in when you need to. But this is his scheme. He's designed this game. And what he said this year, quote unquote, this is Jeff Ulbrich saying, we will not be doing the same thing we did last year. Okay? We will not be doing the same thing last year. He was on record saying this earlier when they hired him. Go back and look at the Jeff Ulbrich hire. He wasn't singing lullabies for Raheem. Oh, I love Raheem. We're buddies. No, he was like, look, we gonna argue and we gonna fight. And if I feel strongly about a defensive thing, look, I'm going to go to war for it. But yes, we're going to fight. But like I'm not gonna sit back here. Like if you're gonna keep saying the same stuff about keeping the same energy about Raheem and if he wins, bitch, I want him to win. And I don't know a single Falcon fan that be saying stupid crap like, oh, we don't want him to win because I don't like him. Like, get out of here with that nonsense. No, none of that shit matters. Okay? You sound like a damn girl talking about, oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. Look how sensitive this shit sound. Look how sensitive this shit sound. Like this don't even sound like somebody. Look, you would have got your ass. Look, they would have put your ass right in the middle of an Oklahoma drill. It's okay to acknowledge that players want him. Okay, players want him here and love playing for him, I think that matters. Arthur Blank wants Raheem here as well. No. He hired him to be a football coach, not because he's a fucking media person. What you talking about ain't got nothing to do with football. You don't think people liked Dan Quinn? Yeah, they liked him. But what did that do? People love Dan Quinn. He's a player's coach. But did we win games because people like Dan Quinn? What happened with Dan Quinn? Everybody loved Dan Quinn, but players loving Dan Quinn, what did that get us? It got us nowhere. Our defense didn't improve under Dan Quinn. That's why he was fired. It's not because look, players still right now in Dallas love Dan Quinn. He's gone. Players love Dan Quinn in Washington. But his defense fell apart during the second half of that season. If it wasn't for damn Jaden Daniels, are we even talking about that Washington defense? If you watch the podcast with Harry Douglas, Roddy White, and Julio Jones, you heard Julio's perspective on the departure. I have. I mean, there's always some truth from his perspective, but I don't like to. I think when there's two parties, three parties, whatever the case may be, I think everybody gonna tell some truth, and everybody gonna tell a little bit of white lies, or they're gonna withhold some truth. So until I hear from the Falcons and Julio Jones, like I think Julio Jones and the Atlanta Falcons, both of them are wrong in his answers at some point in time. But I'm not gonna sit up here and say like a lot of guys, oh, it's all this person's fault. No. At the end of the day, like my thing is, me personally, if a man give you $60 million in guaranteed money at the age of 32, with no franchise typically does that. No franchise ever does that. They try to give you your last contract somewhere around 27, 28. And the fact that they gave him that and Julio Jones is, he just got the hell on right soon after that. As soon as he got it, he was gone. That's problematic. But there's probably some issues or something that they promised or did not ask him for his opinion, like he said. Like that's all about feelings. Tank wants this team to run the power on friendship. This is about football is about wins, bro. Like, look, football is not about friendship. Okay, you want that to be a part of things, but that's not how. Look, Arthur Blake did not hire Raheem because people like him. He hired him because he believed that he was a good coach. But if he's not being a good coach first and foremost, all of the basic things that are a part of being a leader is being well received and having leadership qualities. None of that matters. Is secondary to his ability to coach. And if he's not being a good coach, then what good is him being well received? Tank wanted the team to run. he wants the team running the power of family like Fast and Furious. Like, bro, no, that's not how it goes. Like, no, that's not how it goes, bro. Like, I don't care about how good people may like me, but if I'm not talking about anything, if I'm not adding anything of value as a content creator and helping people understand the game more, like I'm just somebody. Look, I'm just somebody who you like. Like, no. So if you guys don't have any questions, man, I'm gonna put it in. But like I said, if you look, y'all got to stop this dumb shit. Okay, we got so many people that get in their feelings when their point gets critiqued. You say stupid stuff like Raheem. Okay, I love you to death, Jesse, but that was stupid. On one hand, you don't want to give Jeff Ulbrich all of the credit, but then you want to negate the fact that you know Raheem hired a guy that wasn't. Raheem hired a guy. The coach, the head coach, is responsible for bringing in his staff. So he hired an inefficient head coach, inexperienced defensive coordinator, and Jimmy Lake. So again, I ask you guys. The question is for you guys: why did Raheem hire a guy that wasn't a very good defensive coordinator? And why, if he was a better defensive coach, like you guys said, why didn't he take over the defense from the very beginning? These are the things that I want to hear you guys answer because I've never gotten an answer. You hire a guy that was inexperienced, and then you know he's inexperienced, and you are a better defensive coordinator. Why didn't you just take over from the very beginning? You handed a defense over to an inexperienced guy to head your defense, knowing that if anything goes wrong, it's going to be your fault. Why do you do that? See, he don't want to answer. He don't want to answer. No coach is perfect. You see? Reginald Brain say, "Do you think who is going to be starting kicker?" I don't know, man. Kickers are very temperamental. Kickers are temperamental. I want to see him in preseason. I think that'll give me a more accurate depiction of where he is. Because, like I said, kickers are temperamental. I remember Matt Bryant had went through an issue with Tampa Bay, and then he lost his confidence, but he regained the confidence when he signed with the Atlanta Falcons. So I've seen kickers, great kickers, just can't get it back together. But I hope so. Who stood out? Simeon Barrow. I didn't get a chance to see everybody because, like I said, so many people were wanting to have conversations with me. And like I said, I tried to, but I did not get to see everything. I think Juan and Kev, they'll have a better and we'll have this Monday, so you guys stay tuned for Monday's show. But I did not see a lot of action because I was talking to guys like Chris. You know him. He's on Smitty's show. He got A1 Forever. Talking to Big Low Country, Yuri. Who else was out there? Chase. He has his own channel as a Falcon content creator. There's a bunch of guys out there that I had a conversation with. So I didn't get to see a lot of action that I want to. I kind of got to put up a fucking black mask, to be honest. If I go to training camp to actually watch a lot of the action, and I'm not complaining. Like I said, I appreciate everybody that come out and want to holler at your boy. That's why we go out there, but that's why we got to have a crew because of these things. Like myself, Maggie, K-Style for he won't admit to it, but like I don't have a lot of opportunity to just focus solely on watching it. But for what I saw, the thing what jumped out to me was that defense and how they were attacking, and that secondary. The secondary was they was on fire, bro. The secondary was really on fire. To answer your question, Jimmy Lake was a stand-in that gave a chance to get experience, and Raheem and his person denounced being being a defensive-minded head coach. He said he's not twice. He said he's not a defensive-minded coach. I mean, shit, you can look at the results. You can look at the results and see Raheem is not that. I mean, all his career, he's never had a top 15 defense. He's never had a top 10 defense. He's never been consistent in his defense. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with Raheem not being a defensive guy, but we need to stop blaming all of it on. You can't say that Raheem is not a defensive minded guy, and then he's the one that he quote unquote designed the Falcons defense and says he's want to run a lot of cover 2, a lot of zone blitz schemes and whatnot. He likes to push his DBs back like he's designing the defense. But on one hand, if this is true, Xavier, what he's saying that he's not a defensive mind coach, like you can't say I'm a defensive mind. I'm a build the defense in the image that I want, and on the other hand say, well, I'm not a defensive minded coach. That's a lot of discrepancy. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of discrepancies. A lot of things that when you look at Raheem, it just makes you look at him like, okay, what are you? And we're still trying to figure out what he is at this point. Dwayne C., how are you doing? Short to mid-range accuracy versus 50. And I think that's the thing. Koo missed a lot of easy kicks. To be fair, both coordinators were inexperienced. How are you doing, brother? And like I said, I'm willing to give Raheem. I'm willing to give him. Like I said, look, my thing is I'm not gonna sit up here and try to ignore like he ain't fucking trash. Raheem been trash. Okay? Been bad. Wasn't for Jesse Bates and the Falcons getting a lot of interceptions. Our defense was bad. Our linebackers did not play well. Our secondary got a lot of picks. We got a lot of turnovers in the right moment. But this defense was bad. We're a little bit better with stopping the run. Could improve, but outside of stop and run, like this defense and interceptions, like that's what we do. So I appreciate it, Kelly, but like I said, man, I love the fact I love talking to you guys, everybody. And like I said, I had conversations with everybody. I miss Smitty yesterday. Well, I ended up getting, hooking up with him so we can chat more than we already do, phone to phone and whatnot. I holler at him. But yeah, I didn't get to see a lot of action. But Raheem at this point is like if he's one of those coaches that has to bring in a lot of defensive minded guy, he have to develop his own defensive coaching tree. Then I think that's what he needs to be, because if he's not defensive minded, everybody assume that he is, and I'm mostly fans now. Like that's the thing. If he's not a defensive coach, he's not a play call like that. That's fine. Bring in somebody who like an Ulbrich or whoever the case may be to run the defense. But we need to get this defense fixed. Period. Let him be the leader. Let Raheem be whatever he needs to be. But let's not try to pretend like this Raheem is a defensive guru, because he's not. He's already showed that. And like I said, this coaching staff, this not even Raheem. I've told you guys about even Jeff, but Zach Robinson. He has to improve as a play call. He has to improve with the in game IQ, because for me, I didn't like certain things. We were slow offensively to recognize when guys are struggling. Like you weren't calling plays to get the ball in the Pitt's hands. It's just like every play, it was give the ball to Drake, give the ball to Bijan, get the ball to Ray McLeod 15, 50, 70 fucking times in the game. Like, no. So I think the offensive coordinator has to improve. He has to improve as a play caller. This is not all on Raheem. Never once have I said Raheem need to be fired. I think I've said fuck Raheem a billion trillion times, but I've never said he need to be fired. Because at the end of the day, firing Raheem is not going to solve this Atlanta Falcons team. We need to be patient to develop a coaching scheme in which Jeff Ulbrich said, we're trying to establish a culture here in Atlanta. So firing Raheem is not the answer to this Atlanta Falcons team and our ability to get to a Super Bowl. We need to make sure that Raheem has everything that he needs, and we need to be patient with him. But I nowhere does it state that Mike has to like what Raheem does. It doesn't state that Juan has to like it, or William has to like it, or Xavier has to like it. I don't have to like it. Or Armand. Like Armand doesn't have to like what Raheem is doing. But I think if we want to have success in Atlanta, we have to be patient with him. We can't say fire him after 3 years. My estimation, if we want to truly build a defense and build a team properly, I say give Raheem 5 to 7 years. You can't keep firing guys and expect to build a culture. You can't keep firing guys and expect guys to just want to come to Atlanta. If every 3 years we're firing head coaches and firing these guys and firing that guy, it's like, why would guys want to put? Why would anybody want to pick? Because every 3 years you're gonna have a new coach. That's not the way to win championships. And yes, Ray did go off in practice. Ray has been doing a great job. But I need Ray to just focus on being a deep threat. I don't need him catching 60 passes a year. Mostly, please, Zach Robinson. I don't need to see. I mean, look, that's a part of the jet sweeps is unfortunately a part of the league right now because of a lot of the pre-snap, post-snap motions. That's not going anywhere. So those jet sweeps are not going anywhere. The game is going to a college style and a more physical running style. If picture this when you look at the NFL right now, you're looking at offenses like the Georgia Bulldogs. They're going to have a lot of pro. They're going to have like a lot of pro formations. You're going to see 3-4 tight ends. You're going to see bunches. You're going to see, a lot of I formations, weak eyes, strong eye, all those types of things. You're going to see the pistol formations. You're going to see a lot of that in the NFL, but you're also going to see a lot of spread offenses. So with that, and especially with these athletes, you have to have pre-snap and post-snap formations, pre-snap and post-snap motions, because these defensive ends are getting faster. These guys are bigger, faster, and you need to have a plan, dump the ball out of the backfield to a running back, a tight end, or perhaps even an offensive lineman that's coming in as a tight end or extra lineman. Like, you got to have all that. You got to have motion. So if you want that to go, that's not going anywhere. I know franchises are always on the hunt because they build through the defense trenches first, and in my opinion, Raheem wants to model that. And like I said, that's why I say I don't want Raheem fired, but I want him to improve as a head coach, and I'm not going to pretend like I don't see bad coaching. That Falcons defense didn't do a whole lot of good last year. If it wasn't for our number 3 at the time overall offense, that defense, we would have lost a lot of games. Like we threw for like 500. We had like 500, almost 700 yards of offense, and we still barely won the game. That's not good, y'all. That's not good at all. When your quarterback throw for 500 yards and you still barely win a game, that's not good, yo. And that's not just, again, don't point the finger at one guy and say it's all Jimmy Lake's fault. That's nonsense. Matt, Kirill, what's going on, bro? If special team sucks, it's on the head coach. If defense sucks, it's on the head coach. If offense sucks, it's on the head coach. Lake was a fall guy. It's that simple. And I'm not saying that Jimmy Lake didn't have his faults. He was inexperienced. Like, my thing is, if you're going to bring in an experienced head defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, you as a head coach you have to be a great defensive coach or a great offensive coach. The problem is with Jimmy Lake, you didn't have a great defensive head coach that is a great defensive mind. That's why the Falcons defense failed last year. It wasn't just solely because of Jimmy Lake. He had his faults, without question. But if he struggles, that's when you need your assistant linebackers coach or whoever the case may be who's up behind Jimmy Lake. And it's just, if Jimmy Lake wasn't doing well, it was Raheem's job. But you need that. You got to have a plan for everything if you're a head coach. And if everything doesn't go well, don't blame one person for it. Everybody tried to blame Jimmy Lake for all this. No. The head coach job is to take time to develop, especially the first time in 2-3 years. Raheem will be able to make better decisions and know how to assemble the staff. And this is why I wholeheartedly agree. This is why I say give him about 5 years or so. And in my opinion, 5 to 7 years to establish a culture. Once you establish a culture here, the general managers, whether it's Terry Fontenot still be here, or there's Kyle Smith still here, a lot of these guys, we have to build a culture first. Until we build a culture, I see no reason to keep firing coaches every 3 years. We've done it already. It's time to do it the right way, and that's be patient and develop a system, develop a culture. You can't develop a culture if you're not allowing guys to fail. There's going to be failures. So again, this is why I say give him time. But in the meantime, I'm going to be crying and I'm going to be whining, I'm going to be fussing, and I'm going to be cussing. And I'm sure you guys are going to be doing the same thing. You guys are going to be doing the same thing, Raheem, that I am. Fussing, cussing, and impatient. So, no, we don't need to fire Raheem if he has a bad year. Okay? Give him 5 years. So, we gave, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we gave Quinn about 4 to 5 years, I believe it was. We can't keep firing guys. Like I said, my opinion, when it comes down to coaches, especially young coaches, you got to give these guys about 5 to 7 years to find themselves. Like, these guys are never going to improve if you keep firing them after 3 to 4 years. I mean, you see it with the Dallas Cowboys. So Dan Quinn, 5 years, 15 all the way to 20. Like, that's 5 years. He took us to a Super Bowl, but like I said, he kept firing offense. He kept firing offensive coordinators, firing defensive coordinators. Like nothing is it's never stable if you keep firing guys. That's not the answer to everything. Is it me that the Tank used to keep the same energy phrase? I mean, yeah, and Tank gonna get his ass reprimanded. Like, have better points if you're gonna keep saying that goofy shit over and over again. Because no Falcon fan don't want our team to not succeed. We're all looking for success, but we don't have to take nonsense. We don't have to like goofy shit. We don't have to like seeing when the defense or we need an important play to be made a call and watch our head coach sit up there and chew gum and hold his hand while he's looking at the damn clock running down and we got to make a decision. He just or in another situation where he's looking at our quarterback completely falling apart and he's just throwing him out there game after game after game, knowing that he's hurt, knowing that he's throwing one touchdown and 10 interceptions in the last, 4 to 5 games or so. Like, that's not, I don't have to like that. I don't have to stay quiet. You don't have to stay quiet. This right here, faith without works is dead. Y'all want the works, but you don't want to have faith in the process. You don't want people to critique you. There's something that OG Truth always tell me. Okay? OG Truth, OG Sam say this shit all the time to me, personally. And I'm saying this to y'all because this is what my OG's telling me. Can't no motherfucker, you got to be willing to take a straightening. Motherfuckers out here are too fucking scared to take a straightening. They don't want nobody telling them what to do. They don't want nobody to critique them. They got too many people that just want to do shit and they don't want to be critiqued. You can't be scared to get a straightening. Real men, real adults, real women take a straightening. If you can't take a straightening, that's a you problem. So with that being said, I truly appreciate you guys. If you don't have any more questions, the season is among us. And we're going to continue to do our thing here at Mad Mike Sports. And like I said, Mondays are going to be dedicated to college football. So I would truly appreciate it if you guys, right after this video, please tell us who your favorite college team is. Okay, please tell us who your favorite college football team, because Monday it's going to be Georgia Bulldogs. Hey, Georgia Bulldogs. And it's going to be the Ramblin' Wreck. All right, Ramblin' Wreck, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and Michigan. All right, the Michigan Wolverines. We may do some Auburn, go around the SEC, and just talk about all the top teams or just the great games on a Monday on the Originators. Like I said, man, we definitely doing things a little bit differently. Like I said, we truly appreciate everybody. But like I said, man, I'm gonna say this. We all, and I like this quote from D. Cohen, we all want the team to be good. But with the youth of the team and the history of the coach, nothing is a certainty. Hope and faith are two totally different things. That's it. Hope and faith, two totally different things. Can't be afraid to get a straightening. Everybody got to get a straightening. Everyone, including me. Everybody gonna get it straightening. And that's the bottom line. Because Mad Mike said so. And that's all I gotta say about that.
Appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your people to come chat NFL football with your boy, Mad Mike. Peace.
Put your eyes back in your head.
Got like flavors. What?
Pry their eyes open and force them to see the truth. We will skin the sheep and sacrifice the weak. The unholy alliance has arrived.